So good morning from Los Angeles. I'm Doug Brunke, founder and CEO of Global Chamber. I'm also the acting executive director for the Global Chamber Los Angeles chapter. And oh my God, it is so busy. I don't even know where to start. But we've got some amazing folks in the room, and we'll have some more joining us later on. And it's a very busy time for global trade around the world. It's a very busy time for global trade in the Los Angeles area. And so, what I'd like to do is start with the amazing Bill Edwards, because he is part and leading an event that's coming up on the 28th that we should probably start and finish with today. Also, David Harlow is here in the room. He's one of the key speakers there. Our board chair for Global Chamber Los Angeles, Dr. Sarita Jackson, is also one of the speakers at that event. She is not available for our meeting today, so she sends her regrets, and she's been doing a great job with the regional chapter. She's documenting everything. We've got committees moving forward. We've got events that have happened and also are being planned, and so she's doing an amazing job. And she will be back for our next monthly meetup on June 19th. And that one will feature not only Dr. Jackson, but her friend and all of our acquaintance, Terry Batch of Global LA. So, Bill, could you let us know a little bit more about what's going on the 28th? I understand there's crab available if you show up early, and I also understand there's an amazing global trade conversation that's going to happen.
Can I share my screen quickly?
You may.
Let's see. Okay, let's see. Do you see the event?
Sure do.
Okay, so on May 28th, from 5 in the evening through 8:30 in the evening at University of California, Irvine's Beale Center for Innovation, we're going to have the 11th annual Orange County World Trade Week Forum. This is World Trade Week month of May. And this is put on by the District Export Council of Southern California. And it is always a big deal. You can see we have some interesting speakers. This is one of the very first times that Anduril has allowed one of their senior executives to speak about their business around the world. We're really excited about that. And then in our little group here, it's very incestuous. We have David Harlow is going to be one of our keynote speakers, speaking on this little thing called free trade zones that have exploded. And also our chair, Dr. Jackson, will be one of the speakers. So we have, this is all about trade and all about policy. The theme this year is navigating the new era of global trade, resilience, technology, and partnership. And we developed that theme before the election, so it's getting a little bit pertinent these days. There'll be a lot of discussion about trade and trade policy at a very high level. From 5 to 6 in the evening, Doug was mentioning, we have our annual networking event, which is catered by a very high-end catering service, food and beverage. Those that have been to it know that they like the networking, but they like the food. And then we get into the main part of the evening with Brian Cruz, Associate General Counsel for Anduril Industries. I think a lot of you probably know what Anduril is. It is a disruptor. This is disruptor of military procurement worldwide. Amazing drones that fly and drones that go below the sea, the surface of the sea. And then David Harlow, for those of you who don't know our own David Harlow, he's involved with free trade zones, which are where everybody wants to put their imported goods these days, basically, for some strange reason. I'm not sure really why. But this is the 11th annual one. We have usually we have a max of 200 people in the facility. There'll be business people, academics, uh, government officials, diplomats, and students. And it's always a lot of fun. And this year it is really focused on what everybody's thinking about. How is global business going to be done going forward? So there's a bit.ly there. And there's a QR code. If you write out the bit.ly and go to that link or click on the QR code, you'll go to the website that looks a little bit like this. And there's a way to register. And the early bird registration is through tomorrow. After that, it goes from $95 to $125. So we'd love to have anybody that's interested in global trade. And if you're part of Global Chamber, you're interested in global trade. So we're very honored, by the way, that the Global Chamber is a sponsor, promotional sponsor. And so we are hoping Doug will show up at this event. He seemed to be more interested in the food, but which is he's right now eating. So I don't know what that has to do. But everybody likes the networking, and we make sure that the catering is a very high level. So thank you, Doug, and I really appreciate the chance to talk about this. Again, you got a QR code and a bit.ly. Go and see the bios of these people. Pretty amazing folks that we have that are going to be the highlight of the Orange County World Trade Week.
Amazing. I will be there, absolutely, and I will be there early for the crab.
Yeah. Somebody told Doug that if you want to get the really good shrimp and crab, you have to come be there by 5 o'clock, because at 5:30 it's gone. So Doug's sitting there eating, so I think maybe that's an important thing for Doug.
I'm having a late breakfast. Sorry about that.
I'll put the links in the chat also. But thank you, Doug. Really appreciate that.
Will there be wine? KC, are you going to be in LA for the 28th?
Well, there will be beverages of all sorts at the event.
Okay.
Say that.
Sadly, I will not be there. I have to be in NorCal.
In NorCal. Okay, got it. So we'll catch you. We'll catch you next time. So does anybody have any questions for Bill?
Yep. Any questions? I've got people who are signing up just to come hear Anduril. If you know anything about Anduril, it's quite an amazing story. And they're based in Irvine and Costa Mesa. So they're right next door to us. But I want to hear David talk, because I had lunch with David a couple weeks ago and found out all this. Everybody wants to be in a free trade zone these days. Everyone in the world, right, David?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
We're looking forward to having you there.
What are you going to be speaking about, David? I mean, free trade zones for sure, I guess, right? So
yes, Doug, that's the whole idea, is to have him talk about a solution for tariff challenges. Yep.
So we'll definitely give an update on the tariff challenges and what the current status is of the tariffs that are in place.
Yeah.
And then how foreign trade zones can help companies navigate the tariffs and any future trade policy concerns that may arise. And we'll talk about the long-term strategies of using foreign trade zones and other programs that help companies with global trade.
Are you guys seeing just a lot of activity right now with that? A lot of interest? Are people actually moving on activity? What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, so it's interesting. We saw probably in March and April a lot of interest in bonded warehouses and foreign trade zones, but not a lot of commitments. And that's largely because people just don't know how to predict what trade policy is going to change and what new trade policy is going to come about as we continue to see, right? It continues to shift. We saw a lot of companies utilizing bonded warehouses for short-term purposes and for temporary solutions, but utilizing foreign trade zones for long-term strategies to manage tariffs, among other advantages that the program offers. We actually, in the month of May, we're starting to see more companies making commitments to those long-term strategies, largely because of the recent announcement with the pause on tariffs coming from China and Hong Kong, being in a foreign trade zone is even more advantageous now because it allows for companies to protect their lower tariffs from getting larger after 90 days if that happens. So a lot to discuss, and definitely don't want to, explain everything right now. I want everyone to come to the event that the deck is putting on and so forth to hear more.
Okay, very good. Gunjan is here, and I promised him when he jumped on, because he's in his, I think, a company meeting, that we would allow him to speak. Bill, could you hold on for a bit and come back to this?
Actually, if Bill wants to talk, I'll let him have the floor if that's okay with
I'm
you.
finished. I didn't intend to say any more. I'm finding out what my friend Gunjan knows all about the new free trade agreement with India that's about to be announced.
What do you know, Gunjan? Could you take
Well,
the floor and let us know? Because I know you not only have some events coming up, but we've got the consulate coming to LA. We've got all sorts of activity with companies at least being interested in India. Could you give us an update, please?
sure. So I think what Bill is referring to is a few days ago, the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced that the first likely agreement will be signed with India. Okay. At that time, privately, I told our clients that Scott Bessent pressuring India to move faster than they are.
Yep.
And as you can see, the UK has moved forward. China has moved forward. India is being very deliberate because they want to extract their pound of flesh in the negotiations. That's very typical of India. So I cannot tell you, Bill, that an agreement is coming forth in the next week or even the next month. There are tremendous pressures in both countries to try and resolve things. But wherever it ends up, it will be far more favorable to the US than India has been in the past. That is very clear. And actually, this little skirmish we had last week between India and Pakistan, I think will further gear India to be more favorable to the US. I won't get into the reasons why, because they are actually fairly complex, but certainly India will move closer to the US as a result. So my days are occupied with companies that want to have more sourcing from India. Many of them are looking at speeding up the transition from China to India, and nobody is going to leave China altogether. That's not going to happen. Okay, despite the Apple announcement last 2 weeks ago that by 2026, every iPhone that you will buy in the US would have been assembled in India, not China. Okay, that's $80 billion of iPhones. Now on my LinkedIn, I posted that AirPods, the things you stick in your ears that don't ever fit my own ears, but Jabil is the company that manufactures them.
Yeah.
And Jabil is moving its manufacturing of those to India as well. Okay. So Apple is very deeply committed. They're still going to manufacture a lot in China for sale everywhere else. It's just the US product that will come from India. Okay. I don't think other companies will make that radical a move, but there's certainly people are looking at, at not being solely dependent on China. Some of the companies shouldn't be coming to India for reasons that once we examine their product line, we tell them, okay? But there's quite a bit of activity happening across many industries in diversifying the supply chain. Okay? So that's keeping me busy. Now, in terms of the upcoming speaking engagements, the very first one I want to talk about is with the Import-Export Group of the Global Chamber. Next week at noon, Anita has asked me to speak about US-India business, both imports and exports. So if you guys can attend at noon, I think the links from Anita will go out to everybody on this call, right?
I think it's May 22nd.
May 22nd, exactly.
And Jem, if you wouldn't mind posting that would be awesome. Thanks.
Okay. Later that same day, I'm speaking at the biotech conference happening at UCLA. It's actually a 4-day event, but on May 22nd, they have an all-day event focused on bioscience. and I'm speaking on the panel about, it's entitled Think Global, Act Local, about promoting interest between Los Angeles and the rest of the world around the biotech business. If any of you or your clients are interested in biotech, that whole day is worth attending. My piece is very small compared to it. And I can send the link out to you, Doug. I'm not sure how to, that I can jump and post it on this chat just now.
Okay, could you explain what day it is and what's the name of it?
It's on the 22nd of May.
Also.
Actually, all of next week, there's something going on at UCLA called LA Best, okay, at the UCLA Luskin Center. But on Thursday, the same day that Anita's event is happening, the global, the import-export event, from morning 8 o'clock to evening 7 o'clock, there is a bioscience conference. Okay?
I see.
And for people whose work intersects with life science, the whole thing may be worth attending. I will actually do the webinar at noon from inside the Luskin Center. I figured out how to do that. I see Anita's on the call, so just to let you know. But my panel there is being run by Dave Whelan, whom some of you know. He was the CEO of Bioscience LA, and it has other speakers talking about other countries as well. But it's at 4 p.m. And I don't think they will be live casting it. I will find out if they are and let the group know. But
May 25th.
May 22nd, same day.
Yeah, the 19th through the 22nd event, LA Best, is in the chat area. I'm not sure what you mentioned. Your section is on the 22nd.
My section is at 4 p.m. on the 22nd. There are other very powerful speakers. So whoever is interested in life sciences should look at that. Otherwise, it's of no interest. If you're not into the life sciences, don't waste your time there. On May 29th, the World Affairs Council of Los Angeles is hosting a lunch event. I am the moderator of that event. It's focused on what is called the Quad. The Quad consists of 4 countries. It was started by Japan. So Consul General Kenko Sone will be speaking on behalf of Japan. Many of you know him on this call, and of course, Doug knows him very well. The Consul General of Australia, Tanya Bennett, will also be speaking on behalf of Australia, which is a member of the Quad. The Consul General of India, Dr. Srikar Reddy from San Francisco, is flying down for the event. He will be speaking about India. And we can't really get anybody from the US State Department to fly down because travel, thanks to Elon Musk, is a no-no for the US government. However, we've been lucky that the former Assistant Secretary of State, David Stilwell, lives in Hawaii. His son lives in Culver City. So even though he's not in government, he can speak freely. He was in the Trump cabinet, so he has some idea about what the current Trump administration might be thinking, and he will be speaking on behalf of the US. So my role will be as the moderator, dealing with these 4 very important diplomats. It's a lunch event. It's at the City Club in downtown. For those of you who've been there, it's a wonderful location. And they have a limit, I think, of 80 people. And so I can again post that. I think Doug has already publicized it, but I can send it out again to share with people. If working with any of those countries is of interest, then I think it would be a great event. And it's a great opportunity to network as well. So don't come there just because of me, but because of the event and the other speakers who will be there. If any of you have questions you want me to ask of these 4 diplomats, you can email me at gbagla@amrit.com. I think I can put that into the chat right now. Okay, my email address.
Amazing. Very good.
Okay. I think those are the high points that you wanted me to cover, Doug. I'm happy to take any questions anybody has or any other thoughts you want me to share, Doug.
Beautiful. Thank you. What questions for Gunjan, please? How is it going to all pan out then? You sounds like from the you're saying there will be an agreement between the U.S. and India for trade. It'll be better than for the U.S. than other previous agreements. And how long do you think it'll take?
Well, I can't answer that last question because it is the one thing that India has resisted in the past on. So this is really pressure from the Prime Minister. If it was the Commerce Ministry, it would take forever. Okay, but now there is direct pressure by the Trump cabinet on the Indian Prime Minister, and he is eager to resolve that because it also opens up. It's a bilateral agreement, so it opens up investment possibilities in India, which India is looking for, and it opens up more exports from India to the US, which also India wants. So it's a win-win kind of situation. It's not India just capitulating and having more American products sold in India. The US wants to sell F-35s to India. It's a very expensive plane, but I think given the events of last week, they will be very much looking to see if they can get F-35s to supplement those French planes that they chose to buy rather than the Boeing F-18 in the past. So India already owns $20 billion of Boeing product, but I expect that that will also be a driving force. Oh, I didn't mention the consulate. So the Prime Minister of India announced a consulate in Los Angeles, thanks in part to our efforts, which was supported by many people on this call, including Doug and by Mayor Karen Bass. I am actively helping the consulate find office space. They're looking at downtown and Mid-Wilshire. That consulate will definitely open this year. Okay. And that will make it possible for us in the Global Chamber to have much more visibility to India. And I promise each of your lives will be affected by business with India over the next 2 to 3 years. So this is not just something for Indians to get visas there. It's actually going to be a significant asset, just like the Japanese and Australian consulates are here in LA, and the German and others. India will be at that same level. Okay. India is now a top 10 trading partner to the US, and they want to be among the top 6 if possible. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay.
Brilliant.
I'll shut up now unless somebody has a question.
Great work.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Doug, for offering this opportunity. I'm so sorry I can't stay longer. I have 4 or 5 people waiting for me on the other call. And please send me any questions by email. Yes, Anita, it's hard to believe we didn't have a consulate here. I saw your note on the chat. Out of the G20 countries, the only country that doesn't have a consulate here besides India is Russia, and Russia isn't about to get one anytime soon. So yeah, India is filling a long standing gap. Thank you very much. I'm going to sign out now.
Thank you, Gunjan. Great information. Appreciate it. Bill, getting back to you, is there anything else that you wanted to share in terms of number one by far is the 28th, and hopefully everybody can attend that. Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Not at this time, Doug. Thank you though for asking.
Okay, very good. I saw Dustin, you were posting. Thank you so much, and I think you were actually posting on the 28th event. So that's amazing. What's going on in your world? Dustin Luther originally was a member of Global Chamber for years with the company Credit Safe, which is still a member, and we love working with them. They're based out of Wales. And then he decided to set up their marketing setup in Santa Monica and talked for years about how amazing Santa Monica was. And he's still there, and he's got his boat all lined up, and he spends a good amount of time. I can't wait to get out. And you're working out of Expert Dojo, which is in Santa Monica. So you've got a nice little hub going on there, and thank you for being part of Global Chamber. What's going on in your world? Anything to share?
Just things have gotten so busy lately with some pretty deep AI projects. So I know probably a lot of people are doing marketing projects and whatnot. And I'll tell you that I had a baby 4 months ago. So I have a little 4-month-old baby, and I took a couple of months off of working for the most part. My team just kind of handled the day-to-day. But during that time, I just went deep and started creating some AI projects and APIs for personal use. And next thing I knew, it's become something, it's like all I'm doing for clients these days. So really putting together some pretty sophisticated documentations around, call them like almost company operating manuals for go-to-market strategies. I've got a German company that's looking to come to the US. It's the one I actually told you about, Doug, that has cool software that can really help member organizations, or they do a whole bunch of things, but they have a really cool software platform. So, just going into these companies and putting together, pretty elaborate documentation where you take all like the call transcripts from sales calls and internal calls and all that, and then turning that into like real useful stuff for campaigns, website updates, webinars, whatever we're going to do, videos we're doing for one client. And so it's anyway, you ask me what I'm doing these days, probably like a lot of people who are doing stuff in marketing. It's all kind of figuring out how do you really, dive deep and make the most of some AI stuff. And I feel like I've got a fun niche and it's keeping me super busy these days.
Amazing. Yeah, definitely would like to learn more about that technology. Does anybody have any questions for Dustin? Anything going on at Expert Dojo that we should know about?
Not too much. I mean, there's just always stuff going on. They actually, if you follow their founders and stuff, they're opening a new fund in India. So you've seen just a lot of activity. Their COO, the guy who was operating things here, went there and became a general partner of this new fund, and that's been a huge thing for them. But they're just doing a lot of still doing a lot of funding for startups globally. So I got introduced to a Nigerian company that's actually based in Canada that's now wants to launch in the US, and we're putting their go-to-market strategy. I got through the dojo. So there's kind of companies, just global companies that are, looking to kind of get funding and set up shop in the US tends to be still a major focus of a lot of dojo startups that they invest in. They don't have to be coming to the US, but that's just the ones that I tend to work with. So they're the ones most top of mind. But they've still, they're just still investing like crazy. They hit the 300 mark earlier this year in terms of number of investments they've done in the past, 6 to 7 years, and it just keeps growing. So it's super fun project to, super fun to be in that environment where there's just always conversations going on around startups, but nothing super huge other than maybe there's also an event next week that's the shit pitch, and if anyone's ever been to a pitch competition, they can be a little dry for investors, but this one comes in and all the founders, before they can pitch their good idea, he gives them 20 minutes. They give them a really bad idea, like some crazy, just doesn't make sense idea. And those founders have to pitch a really bad idea. They get 20 minutes to prepare. And then after that, they do that for 5 minutes. Then they get to pitch their own startup for 3 minutes. Everyone's laughing. It's a fun event. And so if you're been kind of burned by pitch events, this is actually going to be a really fun one next Wednesday at the dojo. And, you mentioned the boat. I'm actually taking the founder and some of the sponsors and those kinds of people on a boat trip the day before. I'm on the boat here. I'm on it right now. So they're kind of using that, just playing LA games with the dojo, involving more events here on the boat. And I don't know, all kinds of just keep him busy.
The pitch event is on the 21st?
Yes, you know what? Because the boat thing's on the 20th. I know that date. I'm more stressing that than the pitch event. But yes, it will be the 21st then, that Wednesday. I can put a link in it. I'll put a link into the chat as well.
Okay. What did you call it?
It's called the shit pitch. I mean, it sounds wrong, but it's really,
SHIT.
yeah, SHIT pitch.
Okay.
And I am going to put a link into it's, as I say, it's a little, like I said, they get a little wild. That's part of why I love these things. The people are really fun. It's not your normal pitch. The investors who show up. It's just a good time. So I am now going to come back now that I found the link, and I will put it in the chat here.
Has anyone else here been to Expert Dojo at the Santa Monica Mall? We did an event last year there, and it was with one of our members out of Kazakhstan, and I would love to do another one at some point. And
well, then we had a second one with a guy who does Japan work too. We did two.
Oh, that's right, with Matthew Kyle. That's right. Yeah. So it would be great to circle back and do that, and you being on the events committee, let's definitely talk about the possibility of doing something creative there. It's such a great venue. It's right next to the Cheesecake Factory on the top floor of the Santa Monica Mall. The parking is very accessible. It's, you know, at least not very accessible for Bill Edwards down in Orange County, but for those of us on the west side, it's a pretty cool place. So, and sorry, David, it's not very accessible for you either. Santa Monica isn't anyway.
No, but at least it's like you say, the easy parking is that it's a huge mall, and the top floors of the mall, the parking's always empty. So for compared to most spots in LA that are big, and you've got a huge deck, it overlooks the 3rd Street Promenade, which just 2 nights ago passed, they're going to allow open drinking on the promenade now. So the Santa Monica is trying to revitalize the little downtown. I think the whole area that might actually help. We'll see.
Okay. Allow drinking to revitalize it. That's an interesting twist.
There used to be a lot more activity, you know, like the street musicians and activities and just things, and nothing happens on that promenade anymore. So they think maybe allowing some people to drink be there on the promenade will help. We'll see.
Very, very cool. Well, thanks for the update. Who else has something to share? Please feel free to unmute or go ahead. What's going on? David, was there anything else that you wanted to share other than the speaking on the 28th? Oh, you're on mute.
I got a couple of things, Doug.
Oh, hold on, Roberto. I think David had started, but he was on mute. Are you there, David?
Yes, and again, just real quick, the highlight, of course, is the event on the 28th.
Yeah.
But next week, we're participating in a World Trade Week event with the Foreign Trade Association and the Los Angeles Customs Brokers Association. I'll be on the panel speaking there as well. And we have U.S. Customs is going to be on site speaking, as well as the ports. So that should be great. It's going to be at the Grand on the 22nd. It's an all-day event between the two associations. So that's another big thing that's happening. I know there's a lot of these events happening throughout the month of May. So
there's a lot on the 22nd, apparently.
Is there?
There's like 10 events.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah, it's also my 43rd wedding anniversary. So
oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
I was doing well with 27. 43 is amazing.
Actually, only one wife. Thank you. Great. Thank you very much for sharing that. Would you be able to share that in the chat area?
Yep, I'm going to do that right now.
Okay, that would be great. Super. Sorry, Roberto. What's
No problem. It's just we got 2 new clients, one from Israel, and their manufacturing is really interesting. A security perimeter device that is totally novel in the industry, and is based, very frankly, on the sensing the vibrations in the perimeter. So they're vibration sensors, and they have special device and software so that, for example, in Sedona at night, you have about 30 degrees, 40 degrees, and then by daytime, you get about 140 in the sun. So the variance in the heat makes your wood impossible to use, but metal stands out and shortens. And with their software, they're able to measure the difference and adjust for it. So they're going to be entering here. So we're getting them UL approval first, but it's going to be a big launch. The second one, which I was totally away, I don't know, your background is chemistry, Doug, is in the field of enzymic compounds. Enzymes for detergents is booming in the US market, and in the field of cosmetics, the forecast for using enzymes in the cosmetic industry is $1.7 billion in the US. So as soon as the company, we have the final agreement, I'll let you know, and I'll let everybody know. But there are incredible technologies being brought into the US because of the of the challenging of the exporting environment between tariff here one day, going the second day, come back the third day. So a lot of the people that we have are coming to us asking them through trade zones, free trade zone in the US, to bring components which are much cheaper to import, assemble in the US and keep it here. But I very frankly have not seen the kind of activity in the interest in the US market in the past 20 years.
You're saying the highest level of interest.
The highest level.
Yeah,
highest level.
agreed.
And
Yeah.
I'm sure that that's reflected in the global chamber to the point that I was talking to Cesar the other day. I think would be very interesting. I'll send you a couple of ideas in a couple of workshop and webinars that we can have. I got a couple of people requested from the UK. They want to have for the global chamber. They want to have a entering the USA type of program. So there's a lot of interest in bringing actual infrastructure to the US, which didn't exist about 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah. When you say infrastructure, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Manufacturing,
Okay.
assembly.
Okay.
It refers bypassing any kind of potential damage control for tariffs that may go up and down depending on blocks or not. Okay.
We probably should connect you with, and Cesar's in the room, but Ryan Sakamoto. Did you, when he presented in Phoenix, that was not on video, so you wouldn't have seen it, but they've got a product out of Israel that they're bringing into the US. It's Sanyo Trading Company, and it's a coating material, like a material that's it's cool. So it's ideal for Arizona and other places. And so it should be at least something for you to take a look at and see if
I'll be glad to. I'll be glad to. We're having a lot of activities from Israel, in the field of technology, especially technology they develop for their military. And we are converting a lot of those applications to commercial applications. To that point, the Group 20 in Israel, in San Jose, I believe they raised about almost $17 billion of investment to bring military technology from Israel to commercial applications in the US.
Amazing. Let's keep going. Is there anything else, Roberto?
Oh, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. A couple quick notes. Behind me is James Huang, who, let's see, I think he's actually on this advisory board for Los Angeles, but he's moved to the Bay Area. And so we'll figure out something. He's also on our global advisory board, and he's just like a super champion for Global Chamber, and he's just an amazing guy in the real estate market. And so just to be aware, we're adding real estate component. And Bill Edwards was talking about the event on the 28th, the World Trade Week one in Orange County. We'll have a number of real estate folks there from Global Chamber, and we're doing online programming, global programming, and things like that. So be aware of James. He's an extraordinary leader, and also his activity and technologies in the real estate market are noteworthy. He will be in Tanzania for our first global meeting of Global Chamber, July 9, 10, and 11, kicking off with the president of Tanzania, and then finishing up on the 11th with the president of Zanzibar. And then we've got all sorts of people coming in from around the world, but mostly Africa. We're hoping to have someone from every country in Africa at that event. I'll be there. Cesar, I hope will be there. We haven't talked about it yet. For a global summit of a gateway to Africa discussion of trade and all the exciting things that are happening on the continent, and particularly in Tanzania, given the president's receptivity to trade, what she has done to move things forward, and of course her agreement to speak at Global Chamber. We're really honored and pleased that that's the case. So James will be there. Hopefully a lot of our board will be there. Dr. Sanjeev Kagram, who I know Elizabeth knows from Thunderbird, left Thunderbird. He recently, in the last few days, has been allowed by ASU to add one more little thing on his LinkedIn profile. There are just some issues related to his ongoing work with ASU that kind of has been somewhat limiting and still is somewhat limiting. But he's now taken a role at Stanford as well. And in addition to the work that he's doing at Global Chamber, he's also very tied into the United Nations at the highest levels there. He will hopefully be there in Tanzania. His wife's birthday is on July 9th, so we're working around that. But I hope as you learn more about that next week, our Global Chamber Executive Director in Tanzania will have all of that together. We'll likely be meeting on Saturday to finalize the initial wave of marketing from around the world. But take a look at that, and if you can join us, that would be amazing. We'd love to have you. Yes, Elizabeth.
Yeah, out of curiosity, not for the board meeting, but would there be a hybrid opportunity where you could patch in people virtually?
We haven't weaved that in yet, but we only because we haven't discussed it. We've been primarily working on securing the presidents and the trade ministers
right.
and the program. And it's Dr. Cogram, when he heard about it, we only really shared it with him earlier this week, and he was like, he had 12 ideas right away. People to be involved, and some amazing people as well. So we'll include that in the conversation in the next week or two. Thank you.
I'm just thinking there's so much opportunity, and with their free trade agreement that's moving forward, there might be some opportunity for a virtual tag in.
Yep, we'll include that in the conversation. Thank you.
Thanks.
How did you wrap up the coursework at Thunderbird?
I filed grades on Monday. I am finished.
Okay.
And for those of you that don't know, I was asked to come in on an emergency basis week 5 of a 7-week course. So I did it from start to finish. So it was, I got it done, 43 students from around the world. So it was exciting.
Congratulations. Anything else going on in your world?
I'm working with some business owners right now because I'm also working for those of you that aren't familiar, there's CITO, the State International Development Organization, has developed a new to export training for business owners across for every state. So we're finishing up that, and it's amazing. These companies, they're interested to expand. They just don't know how. And that's what I learned, because at Thunderbird, the course I was asked to teach was export-import operations and trade compliance. And I would say because though 41 of those students were grad students, and they come from all over the world, and a lot of them are business people, and they all had ideas for either importing or exporting, but they didn't know how. So it'll be interesting to see how many of them actually move forward with viable businesses, and I think there's going to be a good group of them. Thank you.
We had a fairly final meeting to get Export League India off the ground, and we have a marketing program for that next week. Turns out it's May 22nd as well. Just like everything else, but it's geared toward the India market. So we have a leader in India, in Chennai, and she's leading Export League across India. So it's not really related to anything that any of us are doing, because it's mainly Indian exporters and what it's going to take. The first group, this first Export League, will be focused in on India to US.
Yes.
And as we go, we'll look at other countries as well. So we would and should look at, as far as next steps, we're already started Export Australia preparation, Export League. And what was the next one? Export League, Australia, and then Los Angeles was the third one, but there's one in between that's escaping me. But
how is the Phoenix one? Is that complete now?
It's almost complete. Yeah. So we've had the 3 companies, and we just need to do the introductions and then wrap it up. So we went through that process. So at some point, let's talk about the Los Angeles one, and I'm sure that'll be part of the board meeting in June. The board meeting is June 26th. Does anybody else have anything to share?
Yeah, Doug, I'd like to provide some information. Elizabeth, with regards to getting support and expertise on export-import businesses, I'm been talking with World Trade Center NorCal, and they have an accelerator program that takes entrepreneurs, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, and takes them through, I believe it's a 9-session course on how to kind of chart their way through starting an import-export business. So
Right, this is part of one of the grants from the GoBiz, yes,
exactly.
Good. Yes.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to chime in on is I've been working with a Japanese cloud cybersecurity firm that's just trying to come into the United States. Obviously, there's a lot of players, obviously, here in the U.S., but they are the largest Japanese wide area network cloud service provider, and they're looking for partners in the United States. My firm is helping to facilitate getting them contacts to cybersecurity experts, particularly small to medium-sized businesses, because the services that are provided by the large providers like AWS, their price point is much, much more expensive and can be prohibitive for small companies to fully engage in a full-fledged monitored cybersecurity protocol and infrastructure. So anyone interested in connecting with them, I certainly would be happy to bring that connection. The other thing that I wanted to chime in on is kind of what Dustin was talking about with the proliferation of AI utilization. And I'm in a program where we're talking about governance, particularly at the board level, and AI governance, cybersecurity is in most of the surveys tend to be one of the top 3 to 5 concerns that boards are really looking at, which is cybersecurity. So as companies deploy AI, whether it's the large language model, assistant type to agents, security becomes a really important issue, particularly if you're in sensitive industries that have high privacy rules and regulations like healthcare. So I have some information, if people are interested in that, I could share as well. That's it for me, Doug.
Okay. The two things occur to me. Where are you based? Are you at around Torrance? Where are you located? Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm in between Westchester and Manhattan Beach.
Oh, okay. You're very close to me then. Okay, that's cool. So one person you may already have met, right, is Brian Swords. Have you already connected with him on the Japan companies?
Yeah, I did connect with Brian. Yep.
Oh, very good. And then the other one, what was the second project you talked about?
This is on governance, AI governance.
Got it. Okay. I had an idea there and it dissipated. So I'll think about that, what that was. So does anybody else have any questions for Francis? And hearing none. Cesar, are you able to just chime in? And is there anything else that you had to share in terms of things that are coming up that we should know about?
Hi Doug, hi everyone. I was actually planning to chime in because I had an offer. So today we have our League of Opportunities at 4 p.m. Pacific time, and I had two dropouts. So I was going to ask if any of the members here is available and interested to present for 5-7 minutes about what they're doing, about opportunities in the region or industries. Feel free to let me know. I can just put you in the lineup and send you a little bit of a small guidelines that I normally send. So if any of you again is interested, let me know. Happy to have you there today.
Sounds good. Cesar at globalchamber.org, and we'll get you set up.
Thanks. I see KC, and KC is going to try because I already reached out to him yesterday. So hope to have you there, KC.
That's great. He's in Austin today, and
Okay.
so does anybody else have anything before we close the room? I see Johannes here, and I know we started a logistics global or market monthly meeting, and I thought it was in June, but I think I saw it on the calendar for next week. Like so if that I make a note just to double check when that is. But there is a monthly logistics meeting now as well as a lot of different monthly meetings. There's actually two of them on leadership that we're doing every month. The one we just finished this month on wellness and leadership and we talked about sleep, we talked about light this time, and we're talking about those kinds of things as leaders. And then the one next week is with a fellow Rutherford Pascal, who is a John Maxwell expert. And I've read 6 of his books in the last month. So I'm kind of John Maxwell out to some extent, except I like more, and I read 2 of them twice. I have a high regard for the quality of his work and what he has to say. And so Rutherford is an expert on John Maxwell. And so that's next week sometime. It's probably on the 22nd too, but it definitely is next week. Thanks everybody for taking the time today. Really appreciate it. We'll see you on the 22nd somewhere. And we'll definitely see you over the crabs on the 28th in Irvine. I'm gonna
If you get there before 5.
What time do the doors open? Maybe I should get there a little bit early.
5 o'clock. We'll let people into the food, Doug. Gosh.
I'll be there.
I will share. I went last year, but I was doing more networking. And by the time I went to eat, there was hardly any food, and it was good. I kept hearing how good it was. So get there early.
We'll see what we can do in terms of getting.
The speeches will be good too, by the way. Everyone,
Yes.
not I know Doug's coming for the food. It's a long drive for just the food, Doug.
Well, I am interested in some other things. In fact,
okay, good.
It's kind of like one of my first big, LA meetings. I've been to Verde Exchange, but I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of people. I did not remember to mention one more thing, which is the thing that Bill and I are going to go to right after that on May 31st. It's a celebration of Vietnamese immigrants. It's a 50-year celebratory anniversary, also in the Irvine area. And if anybody is interested in attending, I think I still have 2 VIP tickets left. If you're interested in the concept, it was sent out in a newsletter today. So if you're interested to learn more, check it out there or just reach out to me. And someone like you, Francis, you might be interested in that one, given the community that you're part of here in the LA area. It's in Irvine, and it's the Vietnamese.
Well, it's actually in I think Westminster, where Little Saigon is, north of Irvine. So.
Oh, okay. It's
a little bit closer to LA County.
A couple of minutes.
That all
A couple of
counts,
minutes
right?
closer to you, Doug. So.
Okay. How far from Irvine is it?
It's the next town up, basically.
Yeah.
at 405. So it's right next
So
door.
Doug,
Don't
I'll
worry about it.
definitely want to join you.
Okay, it all
Yeah.
feels like Mexico to me, but
The 605 and the 405, just south of that.
I see. Oh my God. So really, so you can take the 405 all the way down.
Yes, to Westminster.
Yes, Doug, you need to take the 405. Yeah.
So I'll have to leave around noon. Okay, no, I got you. Francis, I'll circle back to you on that. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Jim, for joining.
Thank you.
And Cesar, thanks.